Alright, today we're going to be making a picture of silly heart faces. So for this project, all you're going to need is a pencil to draw with. You will need a Sharpie black marker if you have one. If not, you just will leave your hearts without tracing them. And then you're also going to need some Crayola or any really kind of marker. Just make sure that they're not washable. Washable markers won't work for this. And then also just a paintbrush and a bowl of water. If you don't have a paintbrush, you could just use like a Q-tip. If you have Q-tips at home, that would work too. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do, so I'm going to move my example here, is I want to start by making my hearts. And so I just want to make several hearts on my paper. Now an easy way to start hearts is to make like two little humps, almost like you are making like an M shape or a little bird shape, and then just connect them at the bottom. Okay, so that's an easy way to learn how to make a heart, and we want to make hearts of different sizes. Now I would suggest drawing first with pencil. I'm just using marker so you can see it well. So then once I have one heart, then I'm going to just make another one. I'm going to make a big one right next to that one. We want to have different sized hearts. We don't want them to all be the same. You can make some little, some small. I'm going to make one here. And they can kind of overlap one another. And it's okay if your hearts aren't perfect. See this one, the side's a little wonky, but that's okay. It'll still look cute. Just make as many hearts as you can on your paper, about 5 or 6. And make one here. Okay. So I have my hearts, and so then what I want to do is I'm going to make silly faces on them. Now to help you guys make your silly faces, I have a paper here that has all different kinds of eyes and mouths on it. So you can just pause your screen to make all your faces. You can use some of these if you want, or if you want to make your own eyes and mouths, that's okay too. So if you want to pause your screen and use these to make the faces, go ahead. Feel free to do that. I'm going to just put it to the side a little bit so that I can make my faces on my hearts. You can have eyelashes. You can have them however you want. I'm going to give this some lips. But try and make all your faces different. Don't make them all the same. So I'm going to make this one like this. So try and make them all different, and then when we're done, we'll color the eyes in and trace everything with marker. If you're using a pencil right now, I'm using a marker because pencil doesn't show up very well on the projector. I'm going to go ahead and color those in. Okay. So try and make all of your eyes and faces and everything different. I'm going to make this one winking. Smile. Okay, I just have one left here. I'll make this one look like it's cross-eyed because I can get those. so I have my different hearts, and I have their faces made. And so now I'm going to put my marker down. So once you have yours drawn, you want to trace them with marker. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and you can pause and take your time to trace your hearts with marker, with a Sharpie. Remember, it has to be a Sharpie because we're going to use water. So if we used a black, like Crayola marker, then it would bleed with our water. So you always want to trace with a Sharpie marker, something that's permanent, not just a regular Crayola marker. Okay? And so now what we're going to do is I'm ready to add the color to my hearts. So I'm just going to pick any color Crayola marker. Remember, they can't be washable. They have to be just regular. And I'm going to trace with a thick line. All you're going to do is trace the edge of your heart. You want it to be kind of dark. So if your marker's kind of running out, like this one was kind of running out a little bit, you want to see how it's a thick line, but you only do it around the edge of the heart. Okay, so see how I have it all the way along the edge? And then I want to do all my hearts different colors. So I'm going to do purple on this one. And see, I'm just doing the edge. I'm not coloring it in. I'm just tracing and making a nice thick line along the edge of my heart. Use some orange here on this one. Just trace along the whole edge of your heart. And remember, it needs to be kind of thick. You don't want it to be really thin like that. You want to have a thick edge on it. Okay, make them different colors, so I'm going to make this one pink up here. Okay, so I have all of my hearts traced, and so then you can use, like, just make some like designs. I'm making little lines in the background with yellow just to add a little bit more pop of color. You can do this with any color you want to, just so it doesn't look plain. I'm just making little dashes, little lines here going up and down, just to make it look a little prettier. I'm going to use my green and make some lines along the edges. Just to add a little bit more color to the edge. And you can do that with any colors that you want to. Use ones that you've used before or use different colors. So now once you have all of your color on your paper, then this is when you need your bowl of water and a brush, or if you don't have a brush, a Q-tip. And you're just going to take your brush, and this is why you can't use washable markers. They have to be regular markers, because we're going to paint with our markers by taking our paintbrush, and you just go on the side and then see how the color kind of bleeds out. And so it almost looks like watercolor paint. You want to make sure you stay in the lines though, so go real slow. Just do a little bit at a time. Go right next to it where that color is. Kind of blend it out. And then see how that makes my heart look nice and pretty. Now it looks like it's got watercolor on it. and just do that. Make sure you rinse your brush out good in between your colors. Now some colors will show up darker than others. So my pink is kind of a lighter color, so it's not going to be as dark as what my blue was, but that's okay. It still looks really pretty. It's just a little bit lighter than the blue was. Go along the edge, blend it over. See? Nice and light. And then just keep doing that with all of your colors until you get all of them done. Try to not get the eyes painted in. Try to go around the eyes and the mouth so they'll stand out more. Orange. That one turned out really pretty too. And then I just have to do my last one, my purple. Just be careful not to rub your paper too hard, or you can make a hole in it if you put too much water in one spot. See? And then see how they just have like a watercolor type of look to them. So then once you have your hearts done, if you want to put a little bit of water on your design to make those a little brighter, you can do that too. Go over the yellow, spread it out. Now the yellow is a light color, so it's not going to show up very much, but it will a little bit. I'm just putting a little bit of water over it. Okay, and then once you're all done, just rinse and clean your brush out really well, and then put that away. Alright, and then you're finished. And just let your paper sit to dry. Don't do anything with it until it dries, because your marker can still bleed and it can still smudge if you pick it up when it's still really, really wet. So just let it dry, and then once it's finished, you can put it on the refrigerator or hang it up somewhere. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll have some more here in another few weeks. So, bye guys.